Alright, I'm Adam Charlton.
Hey, I'm Charlie King. Welcome to our review of A Streetcar Named Desire by Tennessee Williams. For those watching for the first time that aren't Dr. Hendricks, welcome to my YouTube channel. This isn't going to be the first video, or it's going to be the first video, but it's not going to be the last video. Promise. Promise.
I promise.
I promise this will be the last video. I'm going to start doing reviews soon, hopefully. And depending on what my cameraman does, Daniel Wiseman,
I'm the cameraman.
This lad here's the cameraman. He's not the cameraman. Depending on what we do from there on, he's going to decide what our reviews are and whatnot. But be looking forward to those. We're going to have different car videos, kind of like shit cars you can find in the Delta and redo. We're also going to have some videos.
We're going to talk
soon.
about the play.
Yeah.
Alright, so
anyway, the play.
We'll start with Charlie really wanted to talk about how Eastern European immigrants were treated in the U.S. compared to, I guess, it was normal for Western European immigrants, but not Eastern.
Well,
I mean, that's a big thing because he's referred to as it's a filthy Polak.
Yeah,
and then
it's
he's
a
like,
filthy
I'm
Polak.
not a Polak, I'm an American, whatever, but I don't know. What do you think about that with the historical context?
This play was written in 1947, and it's following World War II, of course. And the mass immigration coming from Europe has kind of dwindled down since the World War. Poland is in this kind of weird state. I mean, if you want to be brutally honest, they took such a huge hit in World War II that they're still trying to struggle with their identity. They're not part of Germany. They're not part of Prussia. They're not really. There's no real Polish identity.
Were they under the Soviets at the time?
Yeah, it was the USSR took claim of them.
Mm-hmm.
So Poland.
Well, he would have immigrated there before then.
So Poland's looking at a turning point in their timeline, and for immigrants coming to America, much like today, they're going to be put in a situation that's very unique for their situation, depending on where they're coming from. Jewish immigrants are probably not going to have. They're still going to have trouble, but not as bad as the Polish at this time, being completely depleted of resources through a world war would tend to do that. The Jewish population, however, would start to head over to Israel around 1947, with your country giving Israel back to the Jews.
Back.
Sort of. It's another topic. But anyway, the Jewish immigration is going to start to decline a tiny bit coming into the 40s and beginning of the 50s. But being a Polish worker coming to New York is, first off, any immigrant to America, you're going to face challenges that are unique to each situation, like I said. Early on, of course, the Irish were referred to as pretty much the working class for America for a while. And then when you look at the 1840s, 1850s, 1860s, if you look to the west in America, near California, the Chinese come in as the immigrant labor force.
I mean, I don't know with regards to ethnicity, but definitely the Polish, like, there's a stigma. But the way it's written here, they're not, like, in ghettos or anything, like, they're very mixed in, but there was still that stigma. So I'm just wondering why that was. Were they, like, very working class?
Well,
I mean, what's Stanley's job? He's a...
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, so he's a factory parts salesman. And,
I mean, that's not as labor intensive as the Irish or the black man or the Chinese man at the time, working in the fields.
Mm-hmm.
The fields of work.
I don't know, but even though he had the stigma of being, like, working class, he still, like, got away with a lot of shit because he was a man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And still today, even.
When the woman, Blanche, was raped, he would, like, no one believed her and she got put in a mental asylum. And I feel like maybe today will be different, but I don't know, maybe class in America wasn't as important as gender. Would you say that?
Well, you're pulling up a pretty broad discussion on gender because, I mean, you're not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying when you look at it from a gender perspective, down south in America today, you might get away with it still if you're a man. If you look at the courts, statistically speaking, we're still at a time where women are making 25 cents less on the dollar than the man. Typical. I mean, my mother works at a law firm, and she makes a substantial amount, but compared to the law office next to her, that's a man that has the same job, less experience, less time in the field, less connections. He's gonna make about $25,000 to $30,000 more than her.
Why do you think that is?
I just think it's kind of the root of Well,
I've heard explanations like maybe like with your mom, like she doesn't negotiate as much, but I feel like she would. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my mom.
Yeah, so I don't feel like that's true.
If y'all don't know, Susan's scary. Yeah, sums up Susan. But I love Susan.
Alright.
But anyway, but if we're talking about the 40s and early 50s, that's unheard of a woman, coming forward and if like even asking at a job for a raise or something.
Mm-hmm. But if you look throughout the play, Blanche is always talking about how she needs a man. Like, there's that millionaire, that doesn't work out, and then she goes to Stanley's friend, and that doesn't work out because Stanley tells her about her being like kind of promiscuous in the past. But it just seems like women are very dependent on men in this play, and I don't know much.
I don't know. Do you think it was written from a sexist point of view, or was it written?
No, it definitely wasn't written from a sexist point of view. I'm saying like it was written from the point of view where I don't know whether it reflected reality, because that was definitely like a bad point on Blanche, that she needed a man in her life and she couldn't be independent at all. I don't know what you know about the history about that, especially after World War II, because in Britain, I know a lot of women work jobs, and then we didn't have the male population coming back, so a lot of them still worked the same jobs, so they weren't dependent on men. I don't know how many troops the US had in World War II, whether it was that significant of the population.
On the European front, we only had a max.
So it wouldn't have been enough to like
Yeah.
have women replace all the jobs.
I mean, World War II was a huge leap for women in the workforce, by no doubts, and that can't really be argued anywhere, because everywhere in every aspect of life, for the first time, a woman was able to come in and do that. In World War II, America lost about 313,000 soldiers in comparison to the UK's.
Yeah, we would have been in the millions.
Yeah, it was much more. So there was the guys coming back, the GIs coming back home.
But I'm just saying, like, women, I don't know, maybe it changed in England more because we had to adapt, whereas your adaptation wasn't because of war. It was kind of just social. Like, I know you still said there's a large pay gap, but like, would you say it now in the South women can be independent? Like, definitely
independent's a different word than equal.
Not equal, I'm saying like, can, like, to survive, does your like mom have to go out and find like a man? No.
Yeah, you got a point there. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know, would you consider Mississippi to be like more southern in traditions than New Orleans?
Okay, well, that's a really good thought-provoking question. Typically, so we're both sophomores in college, and over in England, what's the age to get married, give or take, if you were gonna get married?
I don't know. I don't think
there's like no set age.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, down here in Mississippi, a lot of girls and guys get married around 18 to 22. It's like the prime
the average. I don't know what the legal age, minimum age is you can get married, but like typically we're married a lot later.
Yeah, like
that's definitely a southern thing. Like, we know people that's freshmen in college, engaged and stuff.
Yeah, engaged or married for 1 or 2 years.
But that's not of necessity. Like, I don't feel like Blanche it's out of necessity. It's just like it's what society's told it to do.
So it's a social construct.
In a way, but her personality is very like dependent on other people. Like, she goes to Stella's house because she needs somewhere to go. She's always looking for like people to help her out.
would you say it's not because of a sexist?
I feel like it's a mix of
agenda?
everything. Like maybe it's harder for her to get a job because she's a woman, and you've got the social constructs and the fact she's not a dependent person. But I feel like Williams is making a comment on all of those things, but I don't know.
So it's like a mix of everything put together for her
Yeah,
to be this
this
character that has some. I mean, she has some problems, and
I mean, and we look at Stanley, like him and his wife don't have the perfect relationship, but
nah.
they're still together. I don't know whether he's dependent on her or she's dependent on him. I wouldn't say that.
Well, I mean, all relationships have their ups and downs for sure.
No, but theirs is
theirs
very
is
like
fucked.
negative.
Yeah, there's to sum it up, it's not good.
And I don't know, like I don't know whether he's making a comment on communism when he's like, you know how like Stanley is a social leveler, like he doesn't like Blanche because she comes from the upper class,
Right.
and he wants to bring her down. Like I don't know, and he's definitely like a brute and is like raping people. Do you think he's saying something about communism or socialism, saying like people that want to bring other people down to their level are bad?
Are you implying that it's written in against?
Like I feel like maybe it's not written in, but I don't know. Like it definitely seems like he's saying that people that want everyone to be equal don't maybe have the morals that they give out to the rest of the world. Do you know what I mean? Because he's
Like they say something like "do as I say, not as I do" mentality.
no, it's like well, Stanley in society is seen as like an upstanding husband, even though he has his faults.
Right.
But at the same time, he's like, I don't know, that's a bad example. I don't know. I'm just saying, like maybe he's trying to portray people that don't agree with. I don't know. Do you think he would be like a capitalist? Like he came to America.
Oh, no doubt, he came to make money.
But I don't know. He just feels, I don't know, angry at richer people.
I wouldn't point him. You can't. Would you paint him as a full-on capitalist, gunko? I'm gonna work as hard as I can to make this amount of money and be that rich.
No,
No,
like because he's getting drunk and shit.
Yeah, and he's fucking mad at the upper class still.
Yeah,
Like,
I wouldn't say he's like mad. He's just like when he sees Blanche, and it's Blanche provokes him into she's like, oh Polak. Like I'm not saying like she's the perfect character
no.
morally, because she's totally not. I don't know, what was racism like then? I know it's always been kind of bad towards blacks and minorities that aren't white, but what about like
immigration-wise?
But
there was still a huge. There still is. This concern.
But he is like American, like it's not like he's talking with a Polish accent or anything. Like,
Right.
In the book, he's like, I'm American, so it implies, you know, he probably has
it
an
implies
American
that he
accent.
speaks
Yeah.
like an American, and he talks like an American, acts like an American.
It's probably just because of his second name that she's saying that, but yeah.
Well, those second names still follow people around today. It's not as rampant as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But following the war and up until 1964, really, and that's a milestone in American history, 1964.
Yeah.
The Civil Rights Movement. But even past then, and nowadays, if you recognize somebody in the society that doesn't have the same, I mean, Anastasia, for instance, you automatically know she's Russian.
Yeah.
For some, they take that to the next level and say, oh, she's Russian. Let's stereotype her with the Russians automatically, even though she's lived in America for 4 or 5 years now. Or there's still this segregation tone and this underlined, I don't want to call it flat out segregation, but it's definitely stereotypical, like to name somebody.
I mean, her stereotype, he feels it comes from his like ethnic identity and his class, because she like comes from a rich background coming in there, calling him a Polak, like anyone wouldn't feel good about that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean about that. It's kind of like how you call me a dumb Mississippian, kind of like that, but not at all.
Wow.
Nah,
Okay.
it's not.
No, but like that's like I don't know, a Chinese person coming to a, I don't know, Western European country, like just say like France, and you just get like he works in a factory and everyone's like, oh, sweatshop worker, then calls him
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
racial term.
So immigration is part of the problem, or not part of the problem, but part of
Wow, okay.
no part
Okay,
of
Charlie's ancestors.
the immigration is part of this cauldron of
Would you say,
I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
alright, getting off the topic, would you say Blanche is like unrealistic with what she thinks? Like, she just thinks like she can do not anything, but like
She
I
thinks
know
she can get
this
away
there's
with
a
stuff.
line, I forget what it is exactly. It's just saying like how she wishes everything was like I don't know, like fantasy, like if life wasn't so hard. And I don't know what that stems from. It probably stems from like, cause she's always like going to like find a man. It's never like, and this is very like anti-American, like depending on someone else. Do you know what I mean? She's not doing it like I'm gonna go out and make money. She's like I'm gonna find someone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna find this person and use him for money.
Yeah, like
Right. But is she kind of doing that for herself then? Because if she's going out to find somebody on purpose, I mean, I don't know. I know what you're saying because it's not the classic American. Yeah, let's go work to make money.
yeah.
It's I'm gonna steal this guy's money, but I'm still gonna make money. That's still kind of capitalistic,
Yeah.
but it's also kind of freeloading in a way, kind of as well.
What do you think of Stanley? Like in how
Oh, a flawed man.
but like in how like he I don't know whether he does believe in what he's doing because he knows like he raped her and like I don't know like he treats his wife terribly. I don't
So
know.
are you trying to ask them about Stanley?
Like what do you think of him in general? Like do you think he's a brute or do you think like he has I don't even know he can say he could have good intentions because he like rapes her, but if just say he didn't rape her, what would you think of him? Like
if you took out the
he's mean to his wife, but like he's kind of provoked sometimes. Like one of his friends is flirting with his wife, so he gets angry at his wife because she goes along with it.
yeah, but wouldn't you be mad at the friend that started? I mean, I think he's directing his anger.
And like also, there's no justifying him raping Blanche, but I don't know. She is like, I think it's out of ignorance that she's calling him a Polak. It's not like
she directly hates him for being a Polak.
yeah,
It's just saying Polak.
definitely. Well,
Kinda like
it's
people call you
kind of like teasing, but
like people call you a chav, kind of like that, right?
well, that's a separate discussion.
Or me, you dumb Mississippian.
Yeah, but I don't know. Where's she from, Mississippi again?
Laurel,
Mississippi,
yeah. Which is it's a little south of Columbus.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been there a few times.
Okay. So like
stuck up.
Stuck up, really.
Oh, okay. See, I say that because I'm from Columbus, which is another little town just straight up above, or it's in that general area. And that's so weird I said that automatically because when I used to swim for Mississippi Leagues back in the day,
yeah,
you look at Columbus, Laurel, Mississippi, that kind of area, as these stuck-up rich kids who could swim pretty fast. And
okay.
yeah, they like worked really. All they did is what we looked at them as instead of going to school, they just swam because their parents would pay for them to get good grades and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know why I think that now, but I was born in Columbus and I moved down to Jackson at 2, so I don't say I'm from Columbus, but I am. So
yeah.
But I don't know. That's just one of the things I think about when I think that area of Mississippi. But I don't know. She's definitely a flawed character, and so Stanley, everybody in the play has their flaws, but Stanley's just unforgivable. There's no.
Well, so could Blanche, and Stella feeds into Blanche in how she's dependent on men because she kind of goes with it, but I don't know, like, I feel like every character's responsible, apart from, let's think, Mitch in the novel, not the novel, the play. Even he's kind of flawed. I mean, you'd have to be a pretty accepting person of someone, like, someone you was, I guess he's not even a girlfriend, but, like, someone lied about their past, like, she was kind of promiscuous to get by, and, I don't know, even he's flawed in the novel. In a way, because he was angry that she lied about who she said she was, because she portrayed, like, she's upper class, never had to, like, have sex for money or anything, but she did.
Right.
And he was angry about that. I don't know, what do you think? Like, not saying how you would feel, but, like, if you were just some great person, and say your girlfriend lied about what she did, like, for money.
I mean, well, yeah.
You'd be angry still?
Would I be angry now? Or
Like,
would I be angry
like,
still?
maybe not the lie, but
The fact that she had, like, sex to make money?
yeah.
No, I wouldn't be mad at that. I'd be mad at the lie.
Yeah, I guess that's.
Because if you need to do
I
what
guess
you need to do
that
to
is
get
why
by,
he feels that way.
So, I don't know. That's
And
just
Stanley,
me.
like, telling Mitch that is kind of part of her downfall. Like, no one will vouch for Blanche at the end. That
Yeah,
she's
that's
insane, like,
Just send her off to the middle.
because after he finds out, like, she lied and stuff, she saying she got raped gets more, like, unbelievable.
Right.
Even though you should
Even
take
though-
that very seriously, she just doesn't have the same, I guess, impact on people.
As everybody else.
Yeah. So,
Well, that kind of sums up.
yeah,
just
we
a
talked
brief
about this
overview.
for 22 minutes.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it's gonna wrap up our little discussion about A Streetcar Named Desire. YouTuber guys, be on the lookout for new videos coming soon. I promise I'm getting on them. It's been a while, I know.
It's been a while. I haven't made one.
Haven't made one. That's probably why it's been a while. But they're gonna come. Don't worry. It's coming. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic.
It's gonna be the greatest
It's gonna be
video
the greatest
in the
set
history of videos.
You're gonna like these
maybe
videos
ever.
so much. You're gonna be sick of winning. That's how much we're gonna be winning here soon. I tell you what. It's gonna be great.
Everything we said was fake news.
Somebody say my name.
No. It's a pizza man.
I'm
All right.
hungry. All right. Well, that's it for this one. We'll see you
All right,
next time.
Dr. Hendricks.